At 82, I've lived through decades of lessons, joys, and hardships, but one choice haunts me more than any other: deciding to move into a nursing home. At the time, it felt like the right move. My family urged me to do it, assuring me I'd have all the care, comfort, and security I needed in my later years. Their promises painted a picture of a worry-free life, and I believed them. But once I settled in, I discovered a reality far different from what I'd imagined. If you or a loved one are contemplating a nursing home, you might see it as the safest or most practical option. You may have heard it's the best way to ensure care and ease the burden on your family. But before you take that irreversible step, I want to share 6 lessons I wish someone had told me. Life in a nursing home isn't just about convenience. It reshapes every part of your existence, and leaving is far harder than you might think. Stay with me until the end, as these insights might surprise you and could be exactly what you need to hear before making such a life-changing decision. Let's explore the 6 regrets that have shaped my perspective. Regret 1: losing my independence. The most profound shock of moving into a nursing home wasn't the cramped room, the rigid meal times, or the sea of unfamiliar faces. It was the sudden realization that I no longer controlled my own life. At home, I had my own rhythm. I woke up when I wanted, chose what to cook for breakfast, and decided how to fill my days. I could stroll through my backyard, sip coffee in my worn-in armchair, or spend an afternoon tending to my roses. Those choices, however small, were mine. But in the nursing home, my days were governed by someone else's schedule. Breakfast was served at 7 a.m. sharp, whether I was hungry or not. Bedtime was enforced at 10 p.m., even if I wanted to read late into the night. If I wanted to step outside for fresh air, I had to request permission and wait for a staff member to accompany me. Everyday decisions, what to eat, what to wear, when to bathe, became privileges dictated by the facility's rules. I'll never forget my first morning there. I woke up in a stiff, unfamiliar bed, instinctively reaching for the knitting project I kept on my nightstand at home. But it wasn't there. My cozy bedroom, my books, my garden. All the little comforts I'd built over a lifetime were gone, replaced by cold walls and a bed that felt like it belonged in a hospital. The weight of it hit me. I was no longer in charge. The hardest part was realizing that once you give up your independence, it's nearly impossible to get it back. You adapt to survive. You stop questioning the bland dinner plate they set before you. You stop asking to go for a walk when it's inconvenient for the staff. You mold yourself to their system, but in the process you lose the essence of who you are. I saw it in others too. There was a man named Henry, a retired teacher, who used to spend his mornings reading the newspaper and writing letters. In the nursing home, he had no desk, no quiet corner to call his own. He'd sit in the common room staring at the TV, his spark fading. If you're considering a nursing home, ask yourself, are you ready to surrender the freedoms that define your days? The ability to choose your meals, your routines, your pace. These are what make life yours. Once they're gone, you'll feel their absence like a constant ache. Regret 2: feeling forgotten. One of the most painful truths about nursing home life is how quickly you can fade from the lives of those you love. When I first moved in, my family promised they'd visit often. "We'll be here every week," my son said, his voice full of conviction. I trusted him. In the early days, they followed through. My daughter brought flowers every Sunday. My grandchildren stopped by with stories of school and soccer games. For a while, I felt tethered to the world I'd left behind. But as time passed, the visits slowed. My daughter's weekly trips turned into phone calls, then occasional texts. My grandchildren got caught up in their busy lives, college applications, part-time jobs, new friends. Holidays were the hardest. They'd promised to come for Christmas or my birthday, but something always came up: a snowstorm, a work deadline, a last-minute conflict. I'd sit in the dining hall watching other residents wait by the door, their eyes hopeful but empty. It wasn't that my family stopped caring. Life outside the nursing home moves fast, and when you're not part of their daily routine, it's easy for them to assume you're okay. They think the staff is keeping you comfortable, that you're settling in, that you don't need them as much. But the loneliness seeps in heavy and unrelenting. I remember one rainy evening sitting by my window, clutching my phone, wondering if I should call my daughter. I didn't want to burden her or seem desperate, so I didn't. That moment crystallized my new reality, waiting for connection, unsure if it would come. I saw it in others too. A woman named Clara, who'd been a librarian, used to talk about her son's visits with such pride. But as months passed, she stopped mentioning him. She'd sit in the lounge flipping through the same magazine, her face blank. The staff were kind, but they couldn't replace family. If you're thinking about a nursing home, ask yourself, are you prepared for the isolation that comes when the world moves on without you? No matter how much your loved ones care, being out of sight can mean being out of mind. And that loneliness cuts deeper than you expect. If you're finding this valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed, please do, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future insights. Regret 3. Losing my sense of purpose. When I moved into the nursing home, I thought I was just changing where I lived, not why I lived. At home, I had responsibilities that gave my days meaning. I tended to my small garden, cooked simple meals, and wrote letters to old friends. I'd knit scarves for my grandchildren or rearrange my photo albums. These tasks, however mundane, gave me a reason to get up each morning. They made me feel like I was still contributing, still part of the world. But in the nursing home, those purposes vanished. Meals were prepared by staff, so I no longer cooked. My room was cleaned for me, so I didn't tidy up. There was no garden to water, no letters to write, no projects to keep my hands busy. At first, I thought it would be a relief to be free of chores, but soon I felt an emptiness. The days dragged on, each one blending into the next with nothing to do but wait for the next meal or activity. I saw the same loss in others. There was a man named Thomas, a retired mechanic who used to spend hours tinkering in his shed. He'd talk about fixing old radios or building model cars. In the nursing home, he had no tools, no workbench, no reason to get up with purpose. I'd see him in the hallway, his hands fidgeting, his eyes distant. I don't know what I'm here for anymore, he told me once, and I felt those words in my bones. Without something to care for, to work toward, life starts to feel hollow. The mind grows sluggish, the body weakens, and you become just another face in a place where time seems to stand still. The facility offered activities, card games, movie nights, the occasional craft class, but they felt like distractions, not purposes. I tried joining in knitting a scarf during a group session, but it wasn't the same as choosing my own projects at home. Purpose isn't just about staying busy, it's about feeling like your actions matter, like you're still shaping your own life. If you're considering a nursing home, ask yourself what gives your days meaning, your hobbies, your routines. The small tasks you do, are you ready to let them go? Because in a nursing home, finding purpose is a fight, and without it, you risk losing the spark that keeps you alive. Regret 4. Declining health faster than expected. Before I moved into the nursing home, I was managing well for my age. I wasn't climbing mountains, but I could cook my own meals, walk to the park, and do light chores around the house. I'd stretch each morning to keep my joints loose and carry my groceries up the stairs. Those routines kept me strong and independent. But in the nursing home, everything changed. Meals were delivered to me, so I stopped cooking. Staff helped with tasks, so I moved less. At first, it felt like a break, no more scrubbing pots or lugging laundry, but soon I noticed my legs felt heavier. Getting out of a chair took effort. The strength I'd worked to maintain was slipping away, and it happened faster than I could have imagined. I saw it in others too. There was a woman named Evelyn, 80 years old, who arrived full of energy. She'd walk laps around the courtyard, determined to keep moving. But after a few months, she slowed down. She started using a cane, then a walker, then a wheelchair. "I don't know how I got here," she said one day, her voice trembling. I felt the same. The more help we received, the more we needed. In a place designed to make life effortless, you stop using your body and it fades. The less you move, the faster you decline, and the cycle is relentless. I wish I'd fought harder to stay active. The nursing home had exercise classes, but they were easy to skip, especially on days I felt tired. If I'd known how quickly my strength would fade, I would have pushed myself to walk more, to stretch, to keep my body strong. If you're considering a nursing home, ask yourself, will you have the drive to stay active when everything is done for you? Because once your body weakens rebuilding, it is harder than you think, and that decline can steal your vitality faster than you expect. If you're still reading, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. Your support keeps me going. Regret 5. Losing privacy and dignity. I never realized how much I cherished privacy until it was taken away. At home, I had my own space, my bedroom where I could close the door, my living room where I could sip tea in silence, my quiet moments to reflect or pray. In the nursing home, privacy was a rare commodity. Staff came in and out for routine checks, medication deliveries, or to assist with daily tasks. Shared spaces meant I was almost never alone. Even intimate moments, dressing, bathing, using the bathroom, often required help, which chipped away at my dignity. I knew the staff were just doing their jobs, but it's hard to rely on someone else for things you've done independently your entire life. In my first week, I struggled with the loss of control. Want to take a shower, I had to wait for an aide's availability. Need the bathroom. Pressing the call button sometimes meant waiting longer than I wanted. Meal choices were limited. If I didn't like the day's menu, I had to make do. Sharing a room was another blow. I was lucky to have a considerate roommate, but others weren't. One man, Frank, had a roommate who played the radio all night, making sleep impossible. Another woman dealt with a roommate who wandered into her space confused by dementia. No matter how you try to personalize your room, it's never truly yours. The furniture, the walls, the schedule, all belong to the facility. Dignity slips away in small, subtle ways. Staff might knock, but enter before you answer. You're addressed as a patient, not a person with a lifetime of stories. Your routines are shaped by someone else's clock. I felt myself shrinking, becoming just another name on a roster. If you're considering a nursing home, ask yourself, are you ready to give up the privacy and dignity you've always had? Because once they're gone, it's hard to feel like yourself again. Regret 6. Realizing leaving is harder than you think. When I moved into the nursing home, I thought it was a trial run. If I didn't like it, I'd go back home. It seemed simple enough. But leaving was far more complicated than I'd imagined. My house sat empty, and my children started clearing it out, selling furniture and keepsakes they thought I wouldn't need. When I brought up moving back, they hesitated. Are you sure you can handle it? My son asked. It's safer here. I understood their concern, but it felt like they'd already let go of the idea of me living on my own. The longer I stayed, the harder leaving became. After months of less activity, I wasn't as strong. Tasks like cooking or climbing stairs felt daunting. My confidence eroded, and the idea of living alone seemed overwhelming. I met others in the same trap. A woman named Ruth had planned to stay for a few months after a surgery, but her apartment was rented out and her savings were drained by care costs. The nursing home became her only option. The financial, physical, and emotional barriers to leaving were bigger than I'd anticipated. Your home changes, your body weakens, and the life you knew slips further away. If you're considering a nursing home, ask yourself, are you prepared for the possibility that leaving might not be an option? Once you settle in the world you left behind, shifts in the path back is fraught with obstacles you might not foresee. If you're still here, please comment number 6 below. Please subscribe and share to support more stories like this. Final thoughts. I don't regret growing older, aging is a gift, but I deeply regret thinking a nursing home was my only path. I expected comfort, security, and care. Instead, I lost my independence, my privacy, my purpose, and pieces of myself I hadn't realized were so vital. Are nursing homes inherently bad? No, some people truly need their level of care. But before you decide, weigh what you're giving up. Your routines, your freedom, your sense of self, these are worth fighting for. If I could go back, I'd have explored every option, in-home aids, community programs, anything to stay in my own space. I'd have asked tougher questions about whether I truly needed to move. If you or a loved one are facing this choice, take your time. Ask, is this the best path or just the easiest? Your life today, your choices, your home, your purpose is worth holding on to for as long as you can. Don't let convenience overshadow what makes you you. Thank you for reading. Please share one thing you learned in the comments and how you'll use it. Your thoughts inspire me to keep sharing. If this resonated with you, subscribe and share to help others make informed decisions. I look forward to connecting in the next post.